Why do I need to know everything? Over the last 10 years, I started to think more and more and more, to the point where I ask myself the question, why do I need to know everything? I mean, I love thinking, asking questions, looking for answers, just to realize they lead to 10 more questions for you to answer. It's fun, but does it never end? It doesn't. So, how did it come to this? It all started with this. Videos, games, social media, a bridge that created a constant flow of information into my brain. Ideas colliding with each other, creating questions never seen before. A tower of random facts waiting to jump out at any time. Information shouting in the void, trying to find a connection. A world of infinite possibilities. As fun as having infinite possibilities sounds, it's not very realistic, because our lives are finite, which is the exact opposite. We literally can't use all the information we gather. Some of it will be forever stored, never to be used, creating nothing but clutter in our mind. At one point I decided, I do not need to know everything, I would like to use the information I have regularly, I only need the information about the things I'm interested in. Why don't I just remove the clutter? And that is what I started to do. I created a selection process for information that will have a place in my head and deny access to the rest of it. I started acting on the information, see what is useful and what is not. I started looking for overlap with other people, see how they respond to it, and use them as a second filter. It all started by writing things down. Every thought that felt even a little bit interesting would go into my second brain in Notion. I didn't write down everything, but I still ended up with a lot of notes. So I took an hour at the end of the week and went through the notes, labeling them according to how interesting I still found them. Some I straight up deleted. The next week, I would only write down the ideas that made the cut. I repeated this for a few weeks, narrowing down the selection every time. Eventually, I started doing the selection in my head. Use the thinking capacity for something useful, right? I understand that my approach to thinking won't align with everyone. If you're someone who enjoys exploring new things and having facts ready for every situation, you should lean into that. Most people wouldn't want to make YouTube videos either, but I'm guessing if it's worked for me, it might work for others as well. Figuring out how to organize my thoughts has made my life so much easier. While it might seem like extra work, I actually have to do less work later on. If I have everything labeled and organized, I don't have to look around my mind to find the information I need. It has made me much more focused. I was able to find things I really enjoy doing. And the biggest benefit for me is that I can turn my brain off. Always thinking and digging for new information is very exhausting. Keeping thoughts organized and not letting them be scattered around gives your mind a well-needed moment of rest. When my mind is not resting though, I try to act on as much information as possible. In order for me to determine if it's worth having in my brain or not, I look for opportunities to test it out. This gives me valuable information on whether my thoughts are leading somewhere or not. If a video is well received, it means the idea was good and I can look for more of those. If the conversation topic evolves into 1 hour conversation, it means other people are thinking about this as well and they will ask questions I didn't think of. If I explain my thoughts to someone and it sparks their curiosity, it might be something interesting and I should look into it further. Getting this external information acts as a second filter, which helps me narrow down the selection even more. You might be thinking, this is way too much organizing. By the end of it, there will be no room left for exploration and discovering new things. And to that I say, how I organize my thoughts is based on my goals. I want to create things for others to see. I make videos every week, so I want to have only the best ideas in my mind if I want them to resonate with others. While creative thinking means combining different things together, having more to choose from doesn't necessarily mean the results will be better. Going through the first filter of what I find interesting and the second filter of what other people respond to leaves me with a smaller number of choices, but the results have a higher chance of being good. There are still times when I put random things into my mind, see how they will combine with the thoughts I have. On very rare occasion, it's a perfect fit. A combination so good, I can barely keep my mind from exploding. Most of the time though, it's just clutter. Information that doesn't combine well with anything I'm interested in and I will never use. It might feel weird to put so much work into organizing your thoughts. It creates these boundaries and limitations to what you do in life. It can feel like you're taking possibilities away from yourself, which is true. Living a life of infinite possibilities is very exciting, but when you realize you'll never be able to do everything, you can choose to live intentionally or randomly. In the end, it depends on the goals you have in life. You might not want to create videos, but you can still find a lot of benefits from keeping your thoughts organized. And it's honestly not as rigid as it sounds. Organizing my thoughts helps me focus on the things I found interesting and fun, On the other hand, going with the flow and discovering new things leads to some amazing experiences. It's a balance everyone has to find for themselves. At times, I keep my mind tidy, and at times, I open the doors and let everything in. You can't control your thoughts, but you can guide them towards a specific direction you choose. And in the end, it's not that much work to do that. And if you want more ideas on how to organize your thoughts, you might like this video right here.